A very, very good evening to all of you who are here live and all of you who are also going to watch this session later in a recorded format, probably. Basically, a couple of weeks ago, we started this series of Ask Me Anything with respect to the B School selections. And every week we have been bringing different people onto the stage over here. Last week, a couple of weeks ago, you saw Arx and Jijo do a session. Last week, you saw Arx sir and GP sir do a session. Today again, I bring forward to you Ask Me Anything for B School selection processes. Given that the quite a lot of cluster 2 and cluster 3 colleges results have been announced in the last 1 week, 10 days, 15 days, and you may be having that query of which particular institute to join. So anything that you have to ask related to this, anything that you have to ask related to which college to select, please come online and please put your comment here and we will respond to whatever your query is. And before you do that comments, even before putting that comments, I would suggest you to go through this particular link that I am pasting in the comments over here, which will give you what career launchers rating is or what career launchers ranking is with respect to all the colleges that are there. So, any questions straight up? In fact, GP sir, I in the last 1 day or 2 days, I have received a lot of queries with respect to, about one common query that has come up is SIIB, the International Business Program versus SIBM Bangalore, the core program. What should be selected? What is your take on that?
See, frankly speaking, not too much of a difference between them. Yeah. Though when I look at SIIB, it's an older program and it has more established. But SIBM Bangalore is providing equally good placement opportunities. And by and large, if you look at the overall cutoff, also SIBM Bangalore has a slightly higher cutoff
Correct.
for admissions as compared to SIIB. Okay, so from my point of view, either of them are good enough. It is a question of which city you want to go to. It's a question of what is the nomenclature of the program you are more keen on. And yeah, but if you're looking at finance, etc., possibly SIBM Bangalore might be a better option. SIIB again, look at marketing, international business. All those opportunities are going to be better out there. Okay. But as I said, it's a 19-20 का फर्क.
Yeah, so basically the query that comes up is boss international business is a subject उससे related मैंने अभी तक कुछ किया नहीं है. Yeah, would you like to tackle that
Okay.
question? How different is
हाँ.
international business with respect to a core MBA?
See, this is I think more of a nomenclature issue than anything else. At one point of time, there used to be a domestic business and international business or export business. Today, those boundaries have vanished. A business is a business; it will sell wherever it has opportunities. The world is much more connected. So all MBA programs, irrespective of which MBA program you go for, they will typically have some inputs on international business also. They will have a couple of electives, if not a core program or a core course available to you. So if you're interested in international business, obviously that opportunity will be available to you. The more
Incidentally,
important thing to understand is that all programs will give you the same thing by and large. And SIIB, IB will also teach you basics of marketing, finance, HR, etc., etc. Though being an international business program, they will have a greater focus on, let's say, operations, because the operation logistics is an important part of international export business. Similarly, commodities trading kind of stuff, you are likely to get slightly better opportunities purely because of legacy reasons. So if you are keen on looking at those kind of opportunities, then obviously SIIB makes more sense.
right. So Anirudh Iyer is incidentally asking about SIBM Bangalore again. TAPME versus GIM versus SIBM Bangalore, given that he is interested in marketing.
Mhm. So
I
it is
think
tap me versus. Yeah,
GIM versus SIBM Bangalore. I think anything between TAPME and GIM would be a better choice
absolutely,
as compared to
absolutely.
SIBM Bangalore.
Yeah,
And
uh,
with respect to the marketing roles, I think GIM would be a little better than what TAPME is today
yes.
as the data
See,
suggests.
yeah, and the other thing I'll also look at is typically if you have some couple of years of work experience, tap me provides much better placements. Okay, so yes, if you are a fresher, possibly GIM makes more sense. And in terms of placement opportunities, you are absolutely right. Gym from a marketing perspective is going to be slightly better.
Right. Divya Garg is asking, can I get an equity role from Nibm Pune or from Baby Iams? Also, I am a fresher, and what will I do? What should I do to get that role? Uh, so Divya, these kind of specific niche kind of roles typically you will get at colleges which either specialize in these particular things, or you will get it at the top 5, 6, 10 colleges of the country. Anything below that in the cluster 2, cluster 3 colleges, there may be one or two opportunities on the campus for these kind of roles. But yes, looking at that particular kind of role, I think you should not take admission based on that particular kind of role. You should be open to more opportunities, because you will be getting different kind of opportunities, not specifically one particular kind. In fact, the same goes true with investment banking as well. A lot of people ask, investment banking karna hai, kahan jaye? So investment banking kind of roles you will probably get only in the top 5, 6, 10 colleges of the country or abroad.
Yeah. However, what you can definitely do is, if you are very keen on, look at programs like CFA, which you can do add-on. I'm not saying they will ensure they'll get, but possibly. But the other thing which also you need to be clear about is, when you are outside the top 10 institutes for these roles, you'll have to apply on your own. Companies typically will not visit these campuses, and definitely not NIBM. The latest times again are going to be unlikely. So if you are here and you are interested in those domains, one, add more qualifications to yourself, see if you can get internship in this domain. Online, offline does not matter. And thirdly, be willing to apply on your own and don't wait for the companies to come to the campus. But as Ravi has said, it is not going to be easy at all.
Takmi Core versus I am Jammu, both gaya for a fresher. Rishabh, my
Exactly.
suggestion would be pay money for Tapmi and wait for IIM Jammu both their results. But anyway, on any given day, as of the legacy of the colleges, I think Tapmi core is a better off option as of today.
Hmm.
Probably 5 years later, it may be a different issue, but as of today, I think Tapmi core is a better option.
Yeah.
I have 2 years of gap, and this year I've got 65 percentile. Should I drop this year?
Okay. See, I'm not a fan of dropping a year at all. My strong belief is that in 9 out of 10 cases, you can manage your work and preparation parallelly. Secondly, if after, despite dropping a couple of years, you have still struggling with 65 percentile, obviously dropping another year is not going to help you. On the contrary, increasing the gap is going to be kind of a negative in your career. Or because that's a question you'll have to ask. 5 years down the line, no one will bother. But when you're going to get it, when you'll be looking at getting a job initially, or when you look at joining a B school, that's the time this question will haunt you. So my suggestion is, even if you want to go for a retake, please pick up a job first. Don't let that gap increase.
Again, Omkar has a question that is similar to the question that Rishabh posed. The newest IIMs, Nagpur or Vizag, or should I settle for, or should I go for XIMB PM?
Yeah, I'll go for XIMB business management, no doubt about it in my mind. Though Nagpur and Vizag are doing significantly well, but nevertheless, at this point of time, I'll be a little more inclined towards XIMB.
I think this is one of the questions that I think Omkar has also messaged me on Telegram asking the same stuff. I'm selected for SPJM or Mumbai, and I have calls from XLRI, IIM and IIM I'm considering IIM as of now. IIM Indore seems to be a clear choice as per my interactions. Confused between Excel and SP, and he wants to get into product management.
See, if it is Excel SP, I'm not so sure where's the confusion. XLRI is definitely ahead of SPGen. XLRI, for all practical purposes, in the worst case, you'll equate it to Lucknow or FMS. And FMS will win purely because of the lower fee, for no other reason. And Lucknow will win possibly because of the brand name called IIM. But when you look at the career opportunities, the placement opportunities, the companies which come, the roles they offer, they are exactly the same as the role which you'll get in ABCL.
So I think XLRI can anyway any day be a clear substitute to, if you don't get into ABCL. I think XLRI is a clear choice.
Yeah, I would say, if you are looking at the top 7 8 institutes, it is ABCL, XLFMS. These are your top 6 7 institutes in the country. After that, you will worry about SPJAN and Indore and Kozhikode.
I want to do distance MBA from Nmims. So is it a good college and is it worth it?
Okay. See, college is good. I'm not sure about the program, and I'm nothing to do. And okay, let me put it the other way. To me, the issue is: do companies give credit to you for distance MBA? Does a distance MBA open up opportunities for you? The answer is no. If the industry does not value it, it is not good enough for us at all, and hence I would not recommend it. You want to do a distance MBA, please go ahead and do it, but don't assume it is going to open up opportunities. However, if you're in a public sector unit, public sector undertaking, if you're working in the government job, all they want is a qualification. Then you will get that qualification, and in your biodata, they'll add that, and because of which you might get one promotion extra. But in the private sector, in the industry, unlikely. It's not going to be of any help.
Shobit is asking again a similar question. How is GLIM Gurgaon Pgdm program? See, Shobit, this kind of questions are very subjective and very difficult to answer. The only reason being, what are you comparing it with? What are your other options? I think we would be better off. We would be in a better position to answer this if we know what your background is like and what is it that you are comparing this GLIM Gurgaon Pgdm program is. On a general note, on a generic note, I can tell you that GLIM typically both in Gurgaon and Chennai is famous for its PGPM program, which is a 1 year program, the 15-month program that is there. Otherwise, for the PGDM program, it recently it is taking steps to develop that PGDM program, but it is still not as good as its PGPM program. So Dhruv is saying I have converted Force financial management program and KJ Somaya's core program. I have high inclination towards finance and my geolocation is New Delhi. Which one should I choose? I think you have given enough reasoning to choose for financial
Yeah,
management.
the question is effectively saying, I want to go to fourth, please let me go. Please tell me so that the decision making becomes easy.
Jai
No,
sir will.
the key thing to understand is at this level between 4 kgs Somaya, if one has to look at purely ranking, one is likely to go towards KJ Somaya rather than fourth. But at the end of the day, you'll realize that at this level, the institutes don't, there's not too much of a differentiation. And since you belong to Delhi, you could definitely go ahead with four. But again, something which I said a couple of minutes ago for in some other context, when you are at these institutes and you look at finance as an option, and you are remember most of the institutes at this level will provide you good opportunities in sales, marketing, and general management, and less in the technical areas called finance and operations. So when you are in this level of institute, it is important that you add to yourself. So maybe you could look at the NSC certification programs. Maybe you could look at CFA. Maybe you could look at FRM. Maybe you could look at some other courses. So perfectly fine. Since you belong to Delhi, cost will be definitely reduced. The other advantage is the placements are likely to be in the NCR region or in the worst case North India, and hence it is going to be convenient for you. So that's okay. You can go ahead with the four if you want to.
Prakhar, to answer your question, when is it that the selection admission criteria is released for CAT 2022? It is generally released on or just before or after the CAT notification. That will be around end of July, first week of August. Kind of things. And they keep updating it. For example, I am Ahmedabad or I am Lucknow probably updated their CAT selection criteria for CAT 2021 very late in the month of September last year. I have 1 year gap, scored 90 percentile, not getting good colleges. I have done and doing internships and freelance work. Should I take 1 more year drop? Rajarshi, I think this question has already been answered for someone else. You should not take a drop in a paper that is uncertain. You should start working. ये साल नहीं होगा तो अगले साल हो जाएगा या उसके बाद के साल हो जाएगा. It is good to go to an MBA college with to a B school with 2 years of work experience or roughly 2 to 3 years of work experience. And if you are not getting good colleges and if you think you have the confidence, you have the potential to score better, you think you can target that 99 plus percentile and achieve it, and you can put that effort into it. I think you should definitely try reattempting CAT. It doesn't mean that you take a drop.
Just to add to what Ravi has said, if Rajarshi you are at 90 percentile which means your score is somewhere around 60, 62 marks in CAT. To get to the next level, let's say a 99 percentile, you need about 30 marks more. If you look at CAT 2021, okay. If you are looking at the score of about 90%, at about 95 percentile, maybe you'll need another 15, 16 marks. So the gap between what you have and what you need to get is not huge. It is about 3 questions per section, so to move from a 90 to 99 percentile. So please understand, it is unlikely to be a case of lack of knowledge. It might be a lack of knowledge in one of the 3 sections, but it is more importantly going to be a case of the way you are attempting the paper. So please look at the way you attempt the paper, and for that you don't need to drop a year.
Parth is asking XIMB BM versus IIT Kharagpur VG Som. This is again an 19-20 wala question, Parth. They are both equally placed institutes. My suggestion is, because XIMB BM calls are out, pay money for that and wait for IIT Kharagpur VG Som. If you convert, then you have a problem. If you don't convert, then you don't have a problem.
And part one of the other thing which you need to look at is, and this is not true only for IIT in Kharagpur, it is true for almost all IITs. They provide very good opportunities in the domain of analytics, in the area of digital marketing, in operations, in IT, and related areas. But if you're looking at marketing or finance, then possibly IIT KGP is not going to be as good as XIMBBM. So if you're more keen towards the engineering side, if I can use that word, though not an appropriate word, analytics, operations, IT, then VG Som will be a better option. Also because the fee differential is huge. But if you are looking at marketing finance, then I would say, despite the fee differential, it is XIMB Bhubaneswar, XIMB, which you should be looking at.
If I get, actually saying, if I get admission in a premium B school, my academic background is poor. 7.5, 7.5, 5.5 non-engineering BCom from Kolkata University. Will there be any discrimination in final placement? See, Achal, there will be certain companies which will come with a prerequisite of having a 60% throughout or a 65% throughout. I remember being kicked out of Maruti Suzuki placements just because I did not have 65% in graduation. So there will be some companies which will look at this, but there will be some other companies which will not give importance to this. What you need to understand is that these are all your Purane Pap. You cannot do anything about it. So you've got to live with it and try to get into the best fit, find the best fit for you. I think any PSU, a good public sector undertaking job, I think they will not really bother about this, barring some companies like HPCL or BPCL may be bothering about it, but probably SBI won't bother about it. So,
See, see, Achal,
what your goal is and
so
what your opportunities are later.
yeah, yeah, Achal, please remember one thing. If your past academics were so important, the institute would not have taken you at all. They would not even offer you admission if they are so damn important. It's a means to shortlist, that's all. Secondly, they'll be more worried about what you do in the 2 years of MBA rather than what you did not do earlier. Okay. Finally, please remember, any good institute will have about 80, 90, 100 companies coming to for placements. Are you going to apply to all 100? If there are 20 companies, they say, I need a certain level of academic proficiency because of the role that I'm looking at. You lose 20 companies. At best, you'll apply to 30, 40 companies. So you're not going to lose out at all.
In fact, I completely second that opinion that you have, sir, because you are a raw product to a B school, which they have to add value to, and they have to sell it in the market. So if you are not
Yeah.
sellable, they will not buy you in the first place. So if they are offering you an admission, I think you are already better off. NMIMS Mumbai versus MDI Gurgaon IB.
Uh, Cost issue more than anything else. If you a blind thing would be without looking at any other factor, it will be MDA Gurgaon, IB. However, the cost again there is going to, despite the fact NMIMS itself is expensive, this will be much more expensive than that. Okay. However, the issue would be that that the last couple of years there have been changes in the IB program. I'm not really updated. Ravi, are you clear as to how did they conduct it last year? There,
Uh,
because earlier there used to be 1 year abroad and then in India, but last couple of years I think they did not happen.
I think
Okay,
last
so
couple of
so so
years, anyway, they did not have the scope to do that. So
hmm.
you'll have to check again for that.
So Titi, I'll apologize for this part. Let me just have it checked out. But the default decision would be if money is not an issue, go for MDI Gurgaon IB.
How to decide to write CAT again or take SIIB versus SIBMB? I have taken GEM 8 months of work ex, attempted CAT twice but haven't crossed 80 percentile.
See, what is the reason why you will want to take CAT again? To improve the institute. Okay. So the simple rule is, do you think you can get a score which will get you to the next level of institute? For example, if you take CAT again and you get a 92 percentile, what are your best options going to be? It is going to be IMT Ghaziabad, Exam Bhubaneswar, TAPME, which means you'll by and large be at the same level or slightly higher level. But if you have to go to the real next level, you'll need to get a score of about 95, 96 percentile, because that will give you opportunity in the new Iams. The cap rounds will be available to you. MDI also you might get, and then it becomes interesting. So my suggestion would be, if you think you are unlikely to get to a 96 percentile or above, joining SIIB or SIBM Bangalore this year is a better option as compared to going for a retake. Okay? The other question to ask yourself is, why is it that you're stuck at 80 percentiles? Did you not study? And if despite studying for both the years, you have not been able to do well, maybe it is not worth going for a retake.
Your opinion on Bitsom with respect to Tier 1 B schools and consulting for consulting domain. See, basically, Saurabh, for Bitsom, we don't have a lot of data to substantiate. All we have is the SIP report of the first year, and they look flabbergasting. They look very good, right? But we cannot be very sure about what their first cohort will be in terms of what will happen to their first cohort in terms of the final placements. And when you're talking about the tier 1B schools, if you're talking about IIM, ABC, Excel, SPJN, MDI kind of institutes, FMS kind of institutes, they have already proven their worth in these domains. And I think this year, probably even till the next 2 years, I would still stick to these 5, 6, 10 institutes instead of Bitsom.
And just to add to what you say, I will not even count it among the top 2025 till I see a couple of years of sustained performance. And summer internship is also is not as difficult as final placement. It's a final placement which is a real test.
Which colleges provide area sales manager role? See, no college provides this role. Companies लेते हैं इस प्रोफाइल में ठीक है कंपनी के पास वैकेंसी होगा तो लेगा नहीं होगा तो नहीं लेगा बॉस यश ठीक है बट इफ यू गो टू एनी न्यू बेबी IIM or if you go to probably any cluster 2 cluster 3 institutes, you'll typically get these sales roles, and these sales roles are nothing but either area manager or some business development manager के नाम से होगा. So you'll get it more often than not. You'll get this role only if you do
See,
marketing there.
almost I would say all colleges will provide you good opportunity in this domain.
So for those working and having notice period of 3 months, what should we do considering taking admission is a bit dicey as of today with regard to options available? So
Nothing comes free of course, Srishti, unfortunately.
the best you can do, Srishti, in such a case is that you request the college that you have already submitted your resignation and your resignation has been approved, and you will probably be able to submit the full and final letter with the experience letter 3 months later. That is the best you can work out in negotiations with the colleges, but it depends on the admission committee and their rules.
Also, the issue would be, supposing there's 1.5 or 2 months left for the college to start, and you have a 3 month notice period, the company is going to waive off the notice period. If they will, that's not an issue. If they won't, then you'll have to buy out that notice period. As I said, unfortunately, there's a very difficult situation, and you'll have to play by the ear once you get the final calls. And Srishti, if you are reasonably sure of getting admission, if you have multiple calls and you're reasonably sure you'll get one of those, maybe you might want to just quit now itself.
Sajal is asking, how is KJ Somia Institute for Management College for MBA? I have got admit from only this college. If you have got admit from only this college, that is your best call, Sajal, and I think you should go ahead and pursue it. Depends on what your other aspirations are. But Teja Somaya is definitely a decent institute. Also, because it is present in Mumbai, you will get the very good opportunities in the camp on the campus. IMT Ghaziabad for finance. I think Vikram, IMT Ghaziabad
Is
is
that a
decent
question?
enough.
Is it a statement? Is it a promotion? What is it?
It's an exclamation.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is. Just give me a second.
So IMT Ghaziabad is good for finance and marketing. You can join it. So Amadeep, any idea about date of ABC Excel? Excel has said that they will release the results before 20th of April. So fingers crossed. ABC typically will happen at the end of April or the first in the first 2 weeks
I
of
think
May.
it
By
should
that
happen
time.
anytime now. Yeah,
Mhm.
they should happen anytime now. This time the interviews have by and large happened as per schedule, maybe a week late. I would be hoping that in the next 1 week, 10 days, we should have the ABCL results. ABC definitely.
NMIMS Hyderabad versus XIM RM. What are your other aspirations or options, Raghav? See, basically, NMIMS Hyderabad uh, is not actually located in Hyderabad. It is 70 kilometers from the airport of Hyderabad. So it is
Towards
little
Bangalore.
farther from Hyderabad. They have a very good, decent campus, however, right? They have a very well planned ecosystem within the campus, but it is relatively a newer campus of NMIMS and has not been among the top 50, 60 colleges in the country. So I think the XIM name or the if XIM RM is happening in the same campus, I think that would be a course which is better off. How good is the newly launched program of double masters program of supply chain? Abhishek, you have just told it is newly launched, so we can't really judge on how good they will be. But if it is a course from XLRI, I think they will definitely try and do justice to the course. And if you are really interested in supply chain management and have relevant work experience, also looking forward to a career in supply chain management because it is also in boom these days, I think you should go ahead and pursue it. Should not be an issue. Depends on whatever your other options are. If you are, let us say, you have converted an MDI core and you are comparing it with XLRI supply chain management, I would suggest you go for an MDI core rather than XLRI supply chain management.
I think what Ravi said, I think that's something which I want all the students to be clear about. On a standalone basis, most of the programs will be good. Okay, the XLRI, you don't have to worry about it. Will the program be good? It will be good. How well will it be accepted by the industry is a question that we can't foresee beyond the level. And there's going to be some amount of gut feeling. So it is always going to be helpful if you can say, compared to what? What are your other options that you're looking at?
IMT Ghaziabad or MICA for marketing?
Possibly Mica. Possibly. As I said, and the reason why I would possibly look at Mica is smaller batch size, focus is purely marketing. And then the other thing what we need to remember is the program is postgraduate diploma in management in communications. Okay, it's communications, so the focus is brand management and related areas. But all aspects of marketing you'll find doing well there. However, if you look at FMCG sales kind of roles, then possibly IMT Ghaziabad could be better. Okay? But if you're very clear it is marketing by and large you want, maybe you could go ahead with Mica.
I am in last year BBA and will be graduating next month. Should I take up a job or focus only on CAT? See, CAT is a highly unpredictable paper. You may or make it or may not make it. I think if you get a job, please take up a job. But if you are taking up a job for the purpose of adding to the profile, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि job करने से you right now joining a job you will get marks for work experience, then that is a galat fehmi, right? You will not get any marks for that. If you have 2 to 3 4 even you have till 12 months of work experience even before the admissions, you will not get any marks for the work experience category over there. But you should still go ahead and take up a job if you have an opportunity. LMIMS MBA core versus IMT Ghaziabad.
Very easy decision.
it is clearly
Yeah.
NMIMS, which stands above IMT. In fact, NM is particularly good for finance and consulting roles, so you should really go ahead and take up NMIMS. And Abhishek, this you were the same person who asked about Excel supply chain management. I think if you get a core MBA at NMIMS without much experimentation, I think you should go ahead for that. You can always specialize in supply chain and operations. Should I consider IIT Jodhpur over BBIMs?
No. When I don't like the word baby IIMs. To me, they are the latest IIMs.
Hmm.
But nevertheless, IIT Jodhpur is not at all comparable to these new IIMs.
Shefali is asking, I am totally a fresher. I will come fresh from graduation, English honors, prepared for CAT and ZAT. Also, can I get IIM? Yes, Shefali, you can definitely get an IIM. How to start? Like which books and all do I need? Because I have not much idea. I think Shefali, you can drop an email to me at raviteja.mahavadi@careerlauncher.com. You can go to careerlauncher.com and see various courses that we have to offer for you. But you've got to get started yesterday. If you are already thinking of taking CAT, you're already 1 day late. Debeloid Day. How do CAP colleges give out PI scores? Are they in levels 25, 50, 75, etc., or random scores? They will be, see, if there are two panelists judging you, then it is typically the weighted average of whatever they are judging you on, right? So it can be any random score. It need not be in this 25, 50, 75 scheme. Irma versus XIMB BM.
Okay, possibly XIBM, XIMB The, however, ILMA is a very good institute, and the reason I normally will suggest XIMB is because many students will not be happy with the rural management tag. Okay. However, also you need to be clear that ILMA will provide you opportunities in three distinct areas. One is the private sector, the industry, the way it is. Second, it will provide you opportunities in the cooperative sector. Third, it will provide you opportunities in NGO. And the salary expectations from each of the three is in a decreasing order. Corporate sector or private sector will give you the same salary which you'll get from XIMB opportunities. Cooperative sector will be slightly lesser, and NGO and the government sector will be the lowest. Okay? So you can take a pick for yourself, but if not very clear, default should be XIMB.
SPJIMR marketing versus IIM Indore or IIM Kozhikode. IIM tag seems lucrative. Inclination marketing. What should I choose? Darshan,
If
if
you're
you have
very
converted
clear,
SPJIMR
yeah, sorry.
marketing, it is safe to pay money and wait, right? Let us see if you convert IIM Indore and IIM Kozhikode, then it is a later on decision to take. But SPJIMR, I think, has a clear advantage over IIM Indore and IIM Kozhikode in terms of the uh, the average salaries or the type of students who go into that. You will be surrounded by probably the top 5-10% minds of the country. So I think SPJIMR should be a better option. JP sir, your opinion on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, given that that SPGI has a smaller batch, a very small batch, location is Bombay. In addition to that, the average work experience is on the higher side. And if Darshan has got admission there, I'm assuming he also has at least a couple of years work experience. So for people with work experience with clarity that this is exactly what I want to do, SPGI is a very good option.
Converted both NMIM as HR and XIMBBM. Interested in both HR and consulting. Non-engineer fresher, decent academics. Should I choose XIMB or should stay at NMIM as HR? I am also awaiting results for IFT and TIS.
I would go with XIMB at this point of time. Why should I lock myself in a specialization at this point of time? I'll decide on specialization later on.
NMIMS Mumbai versus IIM Kashipur. I think go for NMIMS
Yes,
Mumbai.
Ravi, you have to answer this.
Go for NMIMS
Yeah,
Mumbai. Anything among Raipur, Udaipur, or Trichy, I would have said Raipur, Udaipur, or Trichy, because among the newer IIMs, they are doing exceptionally well in the last 4, 5, 6 years. It's not that Kashipur is not good, is an institute which is not good. After all, it produced me. I'm very good, and Kashipur is also very good. But I think NMIMS Mumbai is better off. When will NBI release its final results? It will result आएगा यार जब आएगा देखो.
Next month.
Ankesh, if you are facing it, finding it hard to start again, I think all you need is a mentor. Pick up your phone, talk to any one of us, right? And let us see how you can go ahead and prepare. How is SIIB Pune? Good. Is getting placements from newer IIMs for reserved category difficult? Will it be a point to worry about? Aditya,
Aditya, they will
once you
not
are
check
into
your
the
category
college,
before looking at the placements.
once you are into the college, what matters is how good you are in those 2 years, how hard you have worked in those 2 years, what have you added to your profile, and whether or not you are among the top 50% of the college over there, or 50% of the students over there. I have seen some general category students struggling for placements, and I have seen some reserved category students. In fact, my batch gold medalist was a reserved category student. Can you beat that? Which new IM is good for operations? See, Sunil, if you are really interested in operations, faculty wise, IM Kashipur has exceptionally good faculty for operations, and I can vouch for that because I did operations at IM Kashipur. And IM Ranchi is also decent for operations. XIMB BM, IM Ranchi, IM Udaipur, I am Trichy. I think Utkarsh, you can pay for XIMB wait for IIM, these three IIMs, and if you convert any of these IIMs, I think it makes sense you go to an IIM instead of XIMB.
Yeah.
Great Lakes, Pgdm versus SIIB versus IBS Hyderabad. I think the choice has to be made between the first two options. What do you say? Is it?
Great Lakes, Gurgaon, PGM, as ISB. I will go with SIIB because again it is Great Lakes, Gurgaon, PGDM, not PGPM. Okay, PGPM I may still have considered, but to me this is a very clear thing. SIIB without any doubt. I'm assuming it is the core MBA program which is being offered.
I've converted IRMA, got waitlisted 155 for XIMB. Which one to go for, given I am not sure about which domain I am inclined towards? See, first of all, Akash, understand that IRMA is a very good college. And as GP sir said, IRMA offers you various types of profiles also. The kind of placements that happen come for various types of profiles also. So if you have converted IRMA, a bird in hand is always better than two in the bush. Pay money for IRMA and wait for your probably your wait list to get converted at XIMB. If it does, then go to XIMB. If the company does not release us before the starting of MBA, does our admission get revoked by the institute or later date to submit the documents? Srishti, I think we have answered the same question posted by you itself. Uh, you will have to negotiate with the college or with the company, or you have to buy out the notice period.
Srishti, I will say assume you have to buy out the notice period and you have to join by a particular date. If the program starts on 5th of June, you have to be there by 5th of June.
इंग्लिश नहीं आती एकेडमिक स्कोर अच्छा नहीं वो कैट करा क्या सी रोनित डोंट go for cat because even if you do good in cat because of abcds then if you are not really focused on improving your english you'll struggle later on in a big school and I think it's not a good idea to do that. SCM or IFT Kolkata for finance specialization?
IFT Calcutta. See, IFT Calcutta and Delhi, the gap is negligible. Even not, it's not that 19-20 been it is 19.999 versus 20. Okay. Yes, there will be a few companies, couple of companies who will possibly not give you the same opportunities, but by and large, that's not an issue. And even if I forget about the IFT Calcutta Delhi scenario, I'll say IFT Calcutta is way ahead of SCM HRD.
What kind of job roles one get after MBA from DBE, DU?
Okay, typically it's going to be sales and marketing. Okay, if you're looking at finance, finance is unlikely to happen. It's going to be more of sales and marketing role, primarily in the let's say financial services sector. Some banks also would be there, but by and large, it's financial services sector that you'll be looking at.
SIBM Pune versus SCM HRD, better for HR.
Both are equally good, but in general, SIBM Pune is considered to be ranked higher, so you should go with SIBM Pune. Otherwise, both are equally good in terms of placement opportunities.
IIM Indore versus MDI Gurgaon versus Excel Delhi versus IFT Delhi overall. I think very close. IFT Delhi.
All our results are weighted.
So very close. IIM Indore probably you can choose MDI Gurgaon also. IFT Delhi is very good. I think all of them, or the three of them, will be better off than Excel Delhi on this given date because they are the main campuses of those colleges. So it definitely will be better than a sister campus of Excel is what my assumption is. So I think that's all. More or less, all the questions have been answered. Pranshu has one last question. How is Tapmi? Tapmi is good. अच्छा है. So how is Tapmi? क्या होता है यार? It's good. So more or less, all the questions have been answered. If you have any other queries, please write to us. Please post comments on the video, and we will be more than happy to answer to any of give you answers to any of those queries. Thanks.
Ravi, couple of questions have just come in. One by Shobit, one by Hanuman.
Yeah, Shobit. So Niti PGDSM versus SIBM Pune. I know SIBM Pune is better, but the fees is too high, and I have to take a loan.
No, but PGD ISCM is going to be very restricted course. I would still say, despite the fact you have to take a loan, it will be worth it. The placement opportunities which you'll get will be much better. ISCM is not bad, but it is a specialized course and in a restricted domain.
And Shobit, it is always good to take a loan for education because education loan ka both principal and asal interest you can claim in tax deductions. That's what I am doing at least. So it's good to take a loan.
Hanuman, Gym versus SIIB.
Gym versus SIIB. I think more or less they are in the same level. It depends if your inclination is purely marketing. I think gym will probably offer
Yeah.
better roles. Otherwise, you can go for SIIB IB course. क्लैट
One
के लिए
question is
ऑफलाइन कोचिंग
offline
दिल्ली
coaching.
है
Yes, it
बिल्कुल
is there.
you can go to
Connect with
our
your
city
closest
center.
career launcher center.
सीमैट का आंसर की कब तक रिलीज होगा डिपेंड्स यार सरकारी है आएगा अच्छे दिन आएंगे देखते हैं so
I
that's
guess
so Pumba
EU
takes
MBA. Yeah, sorry.
Pumba the admission for Pune University MBA happens through Maharashtra CET. The exam is the form closes on 20th of April and the exam is supposed to happen someday in June. 24th, 25th, 26th tentatively is what they have released. And the worst part is that the circular is also in Marathi, which probably most of us cannot comprehend. But yeah, the exam dates are tentatively 24th, 25th, 26th June. You
Yeah,
can
the
apply
website.
and wait for the admission process.
And Ayushman, the website for CET is dt.org.in. Directorate of Technical Education is the convening body, so you could just check on their website.
Yeah. So, okay. Thanks a lot, everyone, for being patient and putting your queries through. I hope we have answered most of your queries. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.